This is Theodorus Rex, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about a book I read a few months ago called The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. And I'm wearing my Nassau, Bahamas hat in solidarity with the people suffering through Hurricane Irma. I suspect religion is something that every person must grapple with at some point in their lifetime, what they believe, what they don't believe, faith, non-faith, etc. In fact, John Lennon once proposed, imagine a world with no religion. In the song Imagine, no September 11th, no crusades, no witch hunts, no gunpowder plot, no Israeli-Palestinian conflict, no Serb-Croatian Muslim massacres, persecution of the Jews as Christ killers, no honor killings, no Taliban beheadings of blasphemers. Who better than to take on the subject of atheism than Richard Dawkins? And from chapter 2, right from the beginning, he says, the God of the Old Testament is arguably the most unpleasant character in all of fiction. Jealous and proud of it, petty, unjust, an unforgiving control freak, vindictive, bloodthirsty ethnic cleanser, a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, genocidal megalomaniac, sadomasochistic, capriciously malevolent bully. Richard Dawkins tries to prove that there's scientifically that there's no God in this book, and he does a pretty good job of it. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That's paraphrasing Christopher Hitchens there. Christopher Hitchens actually wrote a book called God Is Not Great, and I found that book to be more entertaining and just more to my liking. The guy has an amazing vocabulary, extremely well read, and I would be hard pressed to go against him in any kind of argument. What can be asserted without evidence can also be dismissed without evidence. The very simple question, I guess it is, and maybe the most complex and profound at the same time, is where did matter come from? Where did all this come from? And then if you say there's a God, then you naturally have to ask, well, where did he come from? And then if you say, well, he always existed, well, why couldn't the universe just have always existed? Just take a look at our history as the human race. We're a dogma factory, creating factory. I mean, look, we've had thousands of religions. People have believed in, polytheism, monotheism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, arguably not a religion, I'll grant you that, Christianity, etc. I mean, who's right? If you're born in Pakistan, chances are you're going to be Muslim. If you're born in the United States, chances are you're going to be Christian. And if you're born in Alabama, you're probably going to be a Southern Baptist. So maybe it's a geography thing. For me, personally, I like to be comfortable with not knowing. I like the mysteries of life. I like to explore the mysteries of life. I like to listen to some Alan Watts and just think of all the different possibilities. And I think with religion, you have this is how it is. And then that's why I think spirituality and religion are actually opposites. People think they're the same, but they're actually opposites. With religion, you have a closed set of views, and with spirituality, you're open to the field of all possibilities. For me personally, I adore science. I absolutely adore science. And you have a line of demarcation here where we have what we know, and then there's speculation on what we don't know, And I personally don't cross that line. Some of the popular religions leave a real distaste in my mouth. In Christianity, I'll say that the problem for me there, one of the major problems is, it just reads like a work of fiction. I mean, there's just so many things that you can discredit. It's such an easy target, the Bible. When you have the whole crux of Christianity is that your sins can be absolved through the suffering of another human being. And to me, that's absolutely immoral, and I just cannot accept it. And then if you move on to Islam, obviously you've got a lack of free speech, a hatred for homosexuality. They will, in 10 of the most popular Muslim countries in the world, you can be executed for the crime of being homosexual. And this isn't ISIS, this is everyday Islam, And then there's also the oppression of women. And then if you leave the religion, you can receive a fatwa, which means you're really marked for death. Anyway, I don't want to keep going on at length. I hate making long videos. I try to keep them as short as possible. It is a good read, but if I were you, I would pick up Christopher Hitchens first. And if you really enjoy that book, then you might look into this one. This one's a little tougher read and a little more just heavy. Anyway, over and out. Have a great day. Stay safe.